So in the texts that talk about relying on a spiritual master, they always advise that after you form a relationship with somebody, that it's not good to look for their faults, or if you see faults, to let those faults bother you. So we might wonder, well, why is that? You know, because it kind of looks like it's, you know, self-serving on the part of the teacher, isn't it? You know, oh, now you're obliged to think well of me and have faith in me, and I can do anything I want with you, buddy. So it might appear that way to our suspicious mind, but that's not the reason. Okay, the reason is because if we start out trusting somebody and learn the Dharma from them and practice that Dharma, and then develop a very negative mental state towards that person, then it's very likely that we may stop practicing the Dharma. Okay, and I've seen people that this is exactly what's happened to them. Now, who gets hurt if we stop practicing the Dharma? We do. You know, it's our own loss, isn't it? If we just say, well, this person did da-da-da-da-da-da, and so forget it, I'm out of here. Okay, then it's our loss, because we're generalizing one person's behavior to the whole meaning of the Buddha Dharma, which it has nothing to do with. Okay? Then another thing we have to look at is when we're getting upset at somebody's behavior, what is the behavior really? And what are we actually getting upset with? So then it's good to ask ourselves, is the teacher doing something unethical? Okay, are they breaking one of their precepts? Are they doing something that's, you know, very clearly counter to the Buddhist ethical standards and to the welfare of sentient beings? So you ask that question, and you also ask the question, or are they just doing something that I don't understand the reason for why they're doing it, or are they doing something that's pushing my buttons, or are they doing something that's a matter of personal preference? Okay? Because when we get angry and upset, we don't always look closely at why we're getting angry and upset. You know, is this person really doing something unethical that's damaging to sentient beings and damaging to the Dharma? Or do they just have a different opinion than we do? Or do they just do things in a different way? Okay. One of my teachers thought George Bush was a fantastic president. Okay? And this is a teacher I have a lot of love and respect for. Well, am I going to say, well, you know, if he thinks George Bush is a good president, you know, then what does he know? And then Bush is killing all these people, but my teacher's teaching me not to kill people, and, you know, and I could work up a really big thing about all of this. But I said to myself, you know, I'm here to learn the Dharma. Everybody is entitled to their own political opinion. I'm not learning politics from this person. I'm learning the Dharma. They are an excellent Dharma teacher. And somehow they have some way of not finding conflict between this view and their Dharma things. And that's okay, because everybody has their own views on something like that. Okay? So at that moment, you see, I could have chosen to make it a big thing. Or I could have just said, this is a matter of preference. Okay? You might meet teachers who have different views on gender equality than you do. I've met teachers like that as well, you know. And in fact, one of my friends once asked, you know, is it a breach in relying on your spiritual master if you have a different view about gender equality than your teacher does? And I was so surprised somebody would even ask that question, because to me that's like asking, is it a breach in relying on a spiritual mentor if your teacher drinks Tibetan tea but you think it's unhealthy and disgusting? You know? Yeah, because people can get revved up, really revved up about these things. And you know, I could go on a big, oh, my teacher's drinking Tibetan tea, and they're telling me to live long and value my precious human life, but they're not valuing their precious human life because they're drinking Tibetan tea. They're gonna, you know, it's like if I wanted to, I could get revved up about that. But you know, what kind of tea somebody drinks is a matter of personal preference. I choose not to drink it. They choose to drink it. That's fine. That is not going to impinge on their ability to lead me to enlightenment. You know? Okay. Now, if I had a teacher who was embezzling money from the Dharma Center, then I would go, oh, something's not right here. Okay. If I had a teacher who was sleeping with students, and one student after the other, I would go, something's not right here. If I had a teacher who was waging some kind of, you know, was really criticizing, you know, somebody like His Holiness publicly, you know, then I would go, you know, I thought, you know, there's kind of, what about, you know, harsh speech? So on things where it seems like there's clearly something unethical that goes on, then you could notice that. And then I think it's good to bring that, you know, to go speak to the teacher about it, okay? But that doesn't mean you have to, you know, get all up in arms first, go speak to the teacher about it. But then if you look at the situation and it's just a simple matter of personal preference, you know, then drop it. Yeah? Or it could be that your teacher, you know, comes along, you know, you're doing something and you're upset and you're kind of acting upset and your teacher says, looks like you're angry. And you go, I'm not angry, you know, leave me alone. Why are you telling me what to do? Or you're looking on the internet when you shouldn't be looking on the internet, and the teacher comes and looks and says, very interesting, what are we shopping for? And you get very upset, you know. Now, is that something where that means that person can't lead you on the path? You know, that's just our buttons getting pushed, isn't it? Yeah. So is our anger something justified in that kind of situation? Yeah, it's just the same old, isn't it? You know, or a teacher comes up and says, you know, you're in the rota and you haven't done this. Go do it yourself, teach. Yeah, so I mean, we can get really full of anger and upset about the smallest, tiniest things, you know? Okay, and so, you know, but you can see that this has nothing to do with the teacher's Dharma knowledge. It has nothing to do, you know, we assume, oh, they hate me and they're saying this. Well, maybe they're saying that because they care about us. Yeah. But it's because it's pushing our buttons that we don't like to hear it. Okay? So it's all these kinds of things, you know, that if we let ourselves just go on automatic and get upset as we usually get upset with any old person, then pretty soon there's going to be nobody in the world to lead us to enlightenment. And even if Shakyamuni Buddha appeared here before you, you'd find something that you didn't like about him, too. You know? Kind of, why are you walking around barefoot all the time? Just put on some shoes, for goodness sakes. Or, you know, what are you expecting me to wash your alms bowl for, Buddha? You know, everybody's supposed to be self-reliant. I mean, we can find anything we want to get upset about. Yeah, even if the Buddha's sitting in front of us. Okay, and so this is why we have to be very careful after forming a relationship with the teacher, because, you know, our old habitual buttons are big and red and saying, push me, and, you know, and so for sure they're going to get pushed. Okay? So this is something to really be quite careful about.